Good morning and welcome to day 12 on the Beaver hiking trail. And last night we did get storms, but they weren't bad at all. A little bit of rain, some thunder and lightning, no wind to go with it, no tornadoes thankfully. The tornado watch passed and we didn't get any tornadoes. One thing though that was a little crazy is there's a train that's maybe 100 yards behind camp, and there's a road, must be a road crossing, because right when he gets to camp, blowing the horn, oh, that thing was coming through all night long. On our way into town now. I got to stop because I'm about to climb a big hill, but about mile and a half into Beaver Bay, I'm going to resupply and then back on trail. In the morning, when the grass and the weeds are all full of dew, we're always trying to tiptoe right through the middle so we don't get our feet wet, but usually it doesn't work for very long. Pretty nice walk along the river. There's the river that we were camped by last night, and coming across a bridge. Looks like a little road walk. Well, this is a good old gas station resupply here. Just throw a bunch of stuff in a bag and hope it's enough to get you there. Heading back to the trail. We made it back to the trail, and I highly recommend Beaver Bay as a real quick town stop. It's a dirt road that's about a mile long. It takes you right into town. There's a Holiday gas station that's got enough for a decent resupply. Not amazing, but enough to get you through to Two Harbors. And there's a laundromat, Red Raven Motel. I think there's even a place or two to grab some food. So very easy walk down and back. It's like maybe a 20-minute walk down, 20-minute walk back. And now we are off looking for blueberry something or other campsite tonight. Track's starting to get real nice again. This is a welcome sight. We get a view and a cool breeze. Excellent. This section is beautiful and flat, easy to walk on. Just had a nice lunch, and we are approaching Split Rock State Park. Probably a couple of miles to go yet. Then when we get there, we got to find out about the reroute. We heard it's well marked, but we'll see when we arrive at that destination. It looks like it might actually cut off like 2 miles of trail, but we'll see. Oh yeah, and still cruisy. We need this because we lost a little time when we did the 1 mile each way into Beaver Bay this morning. Back to some lake views. My understanding of the reroute is correct. It's going to take us right down to the water. That would be cool. Well, I think it's pretty obvious they don't want us going here. When you look at all the red tape across the trail. So here's our reroute information. We're going to take a look at this and head down there. Wow, this took us right down by the water. That's awesome. Another lake view. Pretty sure that's Isle Royale way off in the distance, that land you can see. We made it to camp pretty early. It was just right around 3 o'clock. And since I have some extra time, I want to show you what my routine looks like in the evening, especially around foot care. So I don't get blisters very often, luckily, and I think the last time I had a blister was like in 2021 when my feet got really wet and I hiked all day. And I attribute that a lot of that to taking care of my feet when I'm hiking. So let me show you what I do when I get to camp. If you take a look at my leg here, it's just covered in dirt, and my feet are too. So I have these little guys here, which go into a bottle cap, pour a little water onto it, and then I wipe down my legs and feet. And I knew I was going to spill if I tried doing that. So anyways, this is what it looks like when it's got water in it. And I just take this towel and I wipe myself down pretty thoroughly. So there's the end product. Now I know I could probably dig some dirt out from under my toenails, but my legs are clean and my feet are clean. I feel like that dirt and sanded grit between your toes, if left there, just acts like sandpaper. Another thing I do is when I'm hiking, if I feel something doesn't feel right, maybe a hot spot, I take care of it right away. Just today, I started walking. We were just a few miles in. I'm like, my left shoe is too loose. I can just feel it rubbing. That's not right. So I immediately stop, tighten it up, and away we go. And the other day, I think I saved myself some real problems because our feet were wet all day the day before, and I was getting a little bit of a hot spot on the outside of my foot, on the bottom of it, on each foot. And I made the decision at lunchtime to switch into my emergency dry socks. That's my third pair, which I take on wetter trails like this. And it felt great when I did. My other socks were still pretty damp, and then the pain didn't get any worse. It didn't get any better, but it kind of stayed where it was. And I glided up the bottoms of my feet really well for lubrication and no blisters. Just a little soreness that night. It was pretty good the next day. So that's just kind of a little bit of my routine to make sure I don't get any blisters on my feet, because otherwise, I mean, they happen before you know it. It's really important to take care of your feet. Another thing I wanted to show you guys was, like, what's the latrine situation here. So every campsite has one. There's a sign for it and a little trail going back to it. And here's the one for this camp. That's pretty much it. Now, if you're really lucky, they might have a lid, but this is pretty much a standard latrine. Now, here's the issue. See that blue? Let me zoom in here a little bit. Right there, that's my tent. It's probably 20 yards away. So anybody doing their business, I can see them from my tent. And some of them are just like that. There was one campsite where there were two campsites adjacent to one another. Both of the privies were up on a hill, and they were like 20 yards apart. And there was nothing in between. You could just talk to the other person up there if you wanted to. It was pretty funny. So these aren't perfect, but they're great. I mean, I haven't had to dig a hole out here yet, so I do look at this as kind of a luxury. So we did a little over 17 miles today, and tomorrow it's going to be maybe 17 and a half. That'll set us up for a really short day into town the next day. That's where we're going to take our, it'll be a Nero, not a zero, but we'll only have like 4 miles in, so should be fine. And then we're going to stay overnight in a hotel or motel or an Airbnb. Haven't figured that out yet. And then after that will be like 95 miles and we're home. That's everything I wanted to share, and looking forward to another day tomorrow on the trail. Catch you tomorrow.